3, 2, 1. Wow, cock and bull on a Thursday. First time on a Thursday evening at 6. We've tried this before on a Wednesday 2 weeks back. Got a huge response. Our numbers went up to 35. And so we've decided whatever happens, we should do this once in a while. So Thursdays is here to stay for now. Quickly, before I bring in our guest for this cock and bull edition, Amit is missing. He sprained his finger while going to the toilet in the morning. So he's out for the day. But we replaced him with lots of interesting people. Before that, just a quick word, because we are talking about different things on the show. It's the 700th show. Well done. Congratulations would be in order, but nobody really knows about the show, so there's no point actually saying anything. But I will thank my dog for supporting me throughout by not barking. I would also like to point out for all those who think that this whole WhatsApp controversy with the social networks and the government trying to regulate and the privacy right being taken away, I've got a simple solution. If you're sending a WhatsApp to anybody, send 2 anti-Pakistan WhatsApps and then 1 anti-Indian government WhatsApp. That way you're always, with credit. So you have some credit and you can always argue the point. For example, you can say, there's a leakage in my house, I blame Pakistan. WhatsApp gone. And the second one can be, Mr. Sharma had a baby, I blame Pakistan. That's gone. And then the next thing you can say, I hate the lockdown, this is affecting me. So do it that way, 2 to 1, I think we should be fine. I think government will accept that as well. Having said that, let's call the August panel on. After many, many years, I get to see, they should mysteriously appear. Guys, can you appear in the gallery? Yeah, there you go. First with the lady, Mali. Thank you. I hope I pronounced that correctly. It's like the country, or short for Maleshwari, who won us a silver in Sydney 2000. I think Navin's favorite athlete. When she picked up that bob and the clean and jerk and threw it over her head, you cried like a baby. But you were a baby then, 2000. That's Navin, wearing a multicolored shirt, which some 7-year-old child with issues, obviously mental and physical, has painted. And Abbas is back. Abbas, whose background tells you he's trying to, intellectualize the entire point here by showing his 11 books. But of course, below that is the truth. Empty cabinet. What's there?
Yeah, but
just turn the light on. I see Hustler magazine and, Penthouse 84. Yeah, October issue. Yeah, Madonna was on that one. I love that one. Okay, fair enough. So that's Mali. And of course, we've got Silverie. The man who's, 700. How many episodes have we been together, Silverie? You wouldn't know, right? Oh, awkward moment. You lost your voice immediately. I really upset you with that question. I'm so sorry. I don't know why.
No, I'm sorry. I'm saying, it's more than 100 for sure. Because 600 also we did together.
Full lockdown.
480 is when
lockdown.
I left. So I think 481 onwards
more
you've
than
been around.
200. Wow.
Yeah.
Now the 5 artists will do maths. 700 minus 580, 687.
How long were each of you? Yeah. How long were each of you producers for?
Mali was very little.
I think just about 40 to 50 episodes.
There you go.
Oh, okay, cool.
I don't last with the ladies.
And that's when I came in. I think I was in the early 60s and then till late 250s.
Yeah.
But you just walked out on us. We all cried when you left.
Yeah.
I'm
an invaluable person.
Went to Morocco. I mean, what the hell?
I went to Australia. That's the only country I could go to.
No, you went to Philippines and you made some jokes and they're very right-wing in the crowd. They attacked you and...
That is all figment of your imagination, Cyrus. You concocted.
What I really enjoyed was that you did a show in English for a non-English speaking audience and they still beat you up. Nobody has to say for shows. I'm big in Orissa at the moment, for example.
That is basically when Navin left, his star started to rise. When I left, we faced a fucking pandemic. So I don't know what that says.
That's true. So I have been a producer longer over Zoom than in person, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you didn't have a beard.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you didn't have a beard, right? At the beginning, Silverie?
No, I had I didn't have a full beard. I had a whole a goatee thing.
Well, what was that Mali? Let me. I can't remember now.
Right, my grooming habits were a little questionable back then.
I'm sorry. Please, I apologize completely. It's just been so long since I've seen a young lady. That I don't know how to react anymore. I mean, I have a 14-year-old here, but.
After I stopped being the producer, they were like, we need to hire some funny people on this show. And then after that was just funny people. I think I just didn't.
Have you seen The Guests? 700 episodes
when Amit pitched me the job, we had just done the podcast with Savan. I remember Mali was producer on that. And that's where a bunch of us comics had done a bunch of shows. And Amit was like, we need someone to volley with Cyrus. Someone who basically... like give it back to him, like almost like, because May is there, but May is very like gullible. So when Cyrus goes off on a rant against May, she's like very pop and pavam. So like they need someone like bastardly like me rather to come in and
Bastardly. Suddenly sounded like
yeah.
Shakespeare. And the word bastardly does appear in many
Yeah,
plays. Excellent.
yeah,
Nice visiting
bastardly
card.
and
Huh?
bastardly
This is Navin Noronha, bastardly by nature.
and
Cyrus,
bastard
May
would be
says
by
hi,
Yes,
by the way.
that's a Hi,
yeah.
May. But that's a good point. May was very naive and innocent, and very often I would say things, and I think she would just not react to them because she didn't realize I'm that idiotic or stupid or
Yeah,
irritating. So she would just like a breath of fresh air. She just carry on. That was
yeah,
nice.
yeah,
And then maybe I
yeah.
think Amit realized that we needed someone to put me in my place, or they get death threats. So we had, I think, both Naveen and Abbas and me politically leaning towards the left, and with our various views being similar. I think
You
we
mean to say
started becoming
Antariksh is
one.
a right winger?
I want to tell you, I was coming to that. You killed my momentum here, Abbas. Silverie is the ultimate. You remember the Artful Dodger and Oliver Twist, that famous phrase? He's that.
Right.
He's careful. He's a player. He's 100% player. The way he treats senior people with lots of, my mother loves him. In 5 minutes, older people love him because he's so respectful and tamiz and this and that. He's got his whole thing worked out. With me, he never takes me
Mm.
on. He never takes me on. He gives me a little fake respect for no reason. Even with, say, Amit, when he wants to, he doesn't actually do that because he knows that line. He's a very political guy. I think he'll go far. He's a fucked up person as far as I'm concerned. No, I'm kidding, huh? Silverie.
Yeah, no, we know
Your mom
Antariksh
listens
very
to the
well.
show. Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, so Naveen is far more emotional in that sense. So once he gets into a rant, he'll want to murder someone. So you make sure that that kind of person is not in the studio. Abbas is very measured in what he's saying, but very sarcastic and biting and venomous, but in a very probably British upper crust. He never shows emotion. You know him. I would love to see him having an orgasm. Sorry, Malia, I bring this up now, but I was thinking, this is Abbas, it reminds me of Dhoni's conversation, which is staccato, Yeah, we have played very good cricket. I hope we will win the match from here. It should be easy. So Abbas for me is like that, stays in one. He doesn't like to give you different octaves. He's not like an opera singer and all. Just stays in one thing. But we have to read between the lines. What's it like when you
My God.
actually have an orgasm, Abbas? Is there any shift?
Orgasm.
See, everybody wants the answer.
Most orgasms are nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose I remind you of how being solo is such a problem, and when will it ever change? Okay, fine, leave it. Let it go. Why bring that up? Yeah, so there's
You're also
three
sitting
different.
without a shirt.
Mali,
I
again,
guess
see, I don't remember her
don't-
personality now because we hardly spent any time together, and she didn't really
I was also
criticize me.
a child. A lot has changed
You
in
weren't
5
mean.
years.
You weren't mean enough to me then to have left an impact where I can remember something bad. But
I was an
Naveen has
immigrant. I couldn't
fortunately.
be mean.
Oh, that's true. Are you an immigrant? Is it?
I mean, I came from Chennai
Ouch.
at that point. I was really new. So I kind of
Right.
had to
Oh,
just be the
okay.
person
And
who listens in. And
I'm so sorry. So obviously your opinion must be very low, but that's fine. That's fair. Yeah. So unfortunately, we didn't have a relationship which was long enough for us to explore each other. This all sounds creepy. I take it back. Naveen, Naveen is the emotional one and gets
Yeah.
like really gets up, which I like. And Abbas is the laid back one, which I like. And my friend, this young kid, he's a very sharp boy, but he appears to be very sweet and bola bala. But he's as sharp as they come. So I've enjoyed everyone. It's not a problem. I can't think of
Okay,
who's the worst person.
now
we
let's
worked
ask
with so
everyone else. What was it like working with Cyrus for you guys? Like,
Oh, boy.
do you have any cool memories in the sense, like I remember, okay, I'll tell you something that happened recently that that is the funniest thing that happened almost throughout the lockdown. Okay, just last week we had to miss
Oh,
a couple of
no.
episodes because Cyrus's internet was down. I've already told the story once before. And Cyrus's internet was down. So like every few hours we would do like a sound check to see if Cyrus's internet is becoming any better, but it didn't really. So at one point, Cyrus gets really frustrated. Okay, he's been trying everything. So he goes, "Man, so Silverie, there's no Wi-Fi, there's no 3G. So what else can we do?" I'm like, "Cyrus, those are the only two options. We can't do anything else. If there's no Wi-Fi or 3G, we can't really use it." He goes, "So okay, what if we combine two phones and then use their combined network power to accentuate our network?" I'm like, "No, Cyrus, that's not how it works."
I think you can
You
do
do
that
have
with like
5
audio.
phones.
Yeah,
I think you can
we
do that
could
with like
have.
audio or like something. But I don't know if you can do it. Yeah.
Didn't
Yeah,
Gauri do
we-
that? Gauri from what is the table? The
Yeah,
table.
but they're not. They don't do a live stream. That's the thing. So we were doing like a live stream, and that was the whole thing. We've shifted to an almost everyday live stream podcast. And
So I was like a low-end smuggler or gangster. I kept these 5 phones that were there in Alibag from everybody onto a table and said, now let's figure this out. There's some science here I'm missing. And I think I told Silverie, there's got to be a way these 5 phones can marry each other and we can produce something. And then he was very sweet because he doesn't like to show disrespect. Of course, offline he abuses a lot. There's his mom,
No,
fucking
not
fat
true.
head, doesn't wear a shirt, is always on time, always has to walk his dogs. But yeah, and Maya was next to me and she was hitting her head. So she was doing the action that you wanted to do, but she was doing it because I remember you had 5 phones and there was an awkward pause because it was like how do I tell this gentleman that he's a complete moron? So that awkward pause where you didn't answer because you first said 2 phones, and I said I have 5 phones. I've got 5 phones here, and I meant it, and you were like, okay, idiot. Yeah. And then she was banging her head on the side, and I was like, okay, that's it.
That's very often though. Like almost every morning.
Nothing. See Abbas, nothing. There's Abbas just fabulous, so stoic.
Yeah.
Oh my God. He would make a great general as well, you see, because he'll never show fear or anything.
What is that?
Yeah. You know, when he's shot 7 times, there'll be nothing. It'll be just exactly like that. Abbas has left the building. He's not even with us. He's been exorcised.
Can't hear us.
They've taken away the flesh. The flesh is there. Oh, lots of flesh. Is it lots of flesh? I can't even tell anymore.
Oh, he's disconnected.
Oh, he did just get disconnected. Wow, he was still playing.
Let's abuse the bastard. Let's abuse the fucker while he's gone. That fatso ate so much. Navin couldn't do anything. Every time he was talking food in his mouth. What kind of behavior is that? Yeah.
I know we were in the same improv group together. So I know.
What?
So Abbas and I were in the same improv group and we used to do improv together. That's how we met. That's how I recommended him to the job also.
Did he play a hysterical person once? I want to see that. I want to see him hysterical. I want to see him in a cinema where I hate to say this, where it burns down and he has to shout fire, fire and run.
Yeah, he's very eloquent.
Yeah, very
a lot of eloquence there.
Oh, he's
this
back.
Is the burn.
Good karma, karma, guys.
While you were talking about Cyrus's internet fucking up, my internet just conked off. I don't know.
Yeah, wow. What are the odds?
About you.
But did you try to get 2 phones together and get it back working? Is that how you're doing it back?
Yeah, more or less.
5.
Yeah,
Now I'm going to take this for a few. I will cop a few from Silverie after this incident for I think a year at least when it comes down to that. But the moral of the story is how much I care. I tried so hard.
Of course. That's true. Yeah.
I tried against science. And I fought all normal thinking.
It's like that last scene from 3 Idiots when they deliver a baby with a vacuum cleaner. It's like that.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Something like that. Also, I don't know if I told you, but I definitely told Maya, can we FaceTime? And at which point she was like banging her head with a steel button because she didn't even want to start of how the issues would be, beginning with the internet, huh? Anyway.
Yeah. So exactly.
Right. So that's it. Great show. See you later, guys. You guys were great. Fantastic. Ali, please say something more because I'm trying to remember stories. On the Chennai thing, I do remember a little bit. I'm trying to remember. Did we ever have a fight?
I'm also trying to remember. Not really, no.
I leave no impact on anyone, I'm sure. No.
I may or may not have gotten into a fist fight to like feel something you did. Maybe. I'm not very sure of the details.
Really?
It's a little hazy right now. Yeah.
Ouch.
But it was 5 years ago, so I'm trying to think back. I remember one thing though. You remember you had this guest, Viraf Patel?
Yeah.
The Apro app guy?
Yeah. Viraf,
I remember Viraf Patel, if I remember right.
The Parsi, yeah, I know Viraf. Cadet Viraf, he's a model actor. I know him quite well, yeah.
Yeah, I remember he came in for the show, and I didn't really interact too much with the guests, like in the sense that you never like chit-chatted with everyone. But I remember this guy, he asked me, he's like, so where are you from? Are you from Bombay? And I'm like, no, I'm from Chennai. He's like, oh, you're from Chennai. That's interesting. You don't look like you're from Chennai. And I'm like, is there a look? I don't really know. I don't want to go there. But anyway, like I just let it pass. And then at the end, when he was leaving, I remember he goes like, hey, I've got a joke for you. And I'm like, oh, yeah, tell it. And then he goes like, what do you call a good-looking person from Chennai? And I'm like, and he goes like, a tourist.
Oh, man.
I thought he was line mouthing you. I'll speak to Viraf.
Yeah.
Countries got other problems. He's lower on the list.
Yeah.
Like
HR
Chennai
jokes for
only
which
has
HR should be fired.
But even
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Now I can hear you.
See, I can hear myself also at this point.
Yeah, I can hear an echo.
Not
Are there
through
two of
your
you?
ears, yeah.
Are you talking
There's
to your
one
bosom?
only. There's
This is
only
coming from
one.
me wearing no shirt.
But I have a story where I wanted to pop up for
I
somebody.
missed that. What did you say
What did I say?
about Viraf and about Chennai or something? You said something after
It's,
Maalvika
it's like an
said
HR.
something.
It's a very generic HR joke, right? Like what do you call a good-looking person in Chennai? A
Okay.
tourist.
Yeah.
Or the
You're
Chennai has
just
to
being
be
the
where
critic.
hot,
So he's not worried about the
hot.
obvious racist and all the ramifications that he should have been worried about. He was worried about the fact that he stole the joke. Okay, good. That's good.
But
That's also
that's what
important.
it is. All stolen jokes are like a way of conserving
No,
casteism and
that's right.
racism
That's
in
right. We
joke
should
form,
not
right?
worry about all the
So it's
disparity and diversity issues that we face with this kind of regionalism. We must fight about the plagiarism. I agree with you
but I have a
totally.
story. I have a story
I
quickly.
work with Kunal. Everything is lifted off the net. He drops his
Yeah.
own jokes. Huh.
But no, I remember when I was producing Cyrus, my ex boss had showed up, like Book My Show's CEO,
Ah.
Ashish Hemrajani, and I just quit Book My Show before joining IVM, and there was a job in between, but like I was very angry with that company when I left because like I was treated
You're
very
always
unfairly.
angry. There's a lot of rage in you, bro. A lot of
Yeah, it
rage.
is.
I think you
I
kill
mean,
someone one day.
if people mistreat you, you have to like somehow stand up, right? Like you don't always like bend over.
But
Sometimes
you're
you bend
more.
over.
Oh, Naveen. Give you
But
5 minutes to do, and these
if
are
I
the
do
things
a
you'll
joke,
come up
if
with.
I do a funny
We
thing,
should,
Cyrus,
we
you're
should
like, don't
never
do a
let you
funny
speak
thing.
freely.
Yeah.
You should be locked up.
No,
And
no,
not
but
for your sexuality, for everything else.
no,
Ah.
Cyrus wanted to make that joke. That's why, like, Naveen, why did you say it first? It was basically that.
Yeah, exactly. I beat you to it. But no,
Yeah.
the point
I
is
forgot
that
his. Huh.
Amit came to the like, before the studio. He's like, listen, calm down, okay? I'm not going to like go and get riled up. I just like I was eyeing him very angrily from across the room, right? So he was like, don't
You
do
were
this.
eyeballing your ex boss.
Yeah, I was.
Friggin' juvenile. Go on then.
Yeah.
Like not like a Grease, like a musical starting way, like a I'm gonna fuck you up types.
Uh,
Just like like I remember what you did to my team and all of those
Again,
people.
not to make a heterosexual sort of point here, but you go straight to a musical. I mean, really, you went straight, boom, as your reference.
West Side
Go on,
Story.
go on, go
Or it can be like,
on.
remember how like Josh was straight up copied from Greece, like in that
Yeah,
aesthetic, like
yeah.
like
I
some big
love
head
Greece.
Josh.
With due respect, Josh is not even in the same park. Huh.
Yeah, that's true.
No,
Even
wait,
in
wait,
the
wait.
basketball language also.
So get back to your story, na. Ashish was in the room and you were eyeballing him and you were sledging
Yeah,
him without words.
so
Yeah.
yeah, Amit was very skeptical about letting me in the studio and just like, and I'm like, see, I'm a professional. I won't like do anything.
Yeah,
I'll
I
just
was like,
like,
what would you do?
yeah. It's just that there was a resentment to us, and at the end of it, the funniest part is I don't think he remembered me. Also, that's the funniest part. So,
Ah.
so it didn't matter. It didn't like make any difference.
That's a beautiful story. That's a genuinely funny story. I love it. Yeah. Oh God. So
I
he
have
didn't even
I have
acknowledge
two
you.
stories, Cyrus. Two incidents.
Oh my
Sorry,
God.
go ahead.
At Abbas pace or you do it at my pace?
Your pace.
Okay, Abbas pace. Yeah. Go on.
Face or pace? I can't copy your pace. Your pace is too unreal. Okay, so the first is first is this was the 300th episode. We'd got Nikhil Chinnappa and Malaika Arora for the 300th, and I
Okay, I
remember
remember.
Malaika had landed up at the studio quite early, like about half an hour before the recording, and
But she
Nikhil
lives in the next
Chinnappa.
building. She
Yeah,
lives
I
in the
know.
next building.
And Nikhil was running late. So those
Yeah,
watching or
I do
hearing
remember.
might not know, but Malaika travels with a bodyguard. Okay, so you came in, you said hi to Malaika and everything, and then you came to me. You pointed at the bodyguard and you're like, "Who's the other guy? Tell me something about him." You thought he's the one you're gonna interview with him for the 300th episode. I was like, "No, that's a bodyguard." That's why.
Yeah.
You
But
should have
apparently,
actually made up like a separate list of things, like just made up points and just been like,
I
this guy, someone to know.
Mali, I don't know if you remember, but I think we have had very close suspense-filled moments up to that 10 o'clock or 10:30, whatever that opening time was, where
Yeah.
me or my August producers, all four of you all, have forgotten to give the bio. And I, the quintessential professional, have not even asked. And then we start, and then we're trying to figure out now who the guy is because nobody really knows or cares. Sometimes the printer wouldn't work, and the thing was left there. We've had a few soft starts like that, I must say.
I
But
remember,
we've
we tried, I think we used to record 2 episodes in a session at one point to bank them. And so we'd have 2
Yeah,
guests
normally we
per day,
do, yeah.
and I would print out like 2 bios and I'd give them to
I give
you.
the
But
wrong one.
sometimes
And you would still
honest mistake.
do the
Because it's not
interview
Shah
with
Rukh
that.
Khan coming and all. That's fair enough. Very often, I mean, we don't know. We don't, especially visually, you can't match it. Fair enough. Yeah, that did happen.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
good thing is the whole podcast was like,
Thank God
who
for
are you?
clothes.
Tell us about yourself. It's safe. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
sometimes
mean,
like I would get the most bizarre guests. Like once I remember there was a spiritual dietitian we got for you, like who ran a Bhojanalaya in Andheri somewhere, and he was just like telling you about the health benefits of like eating in certain way, and you're just like questioning him, and it's like he was giving you all these logical answers, but it was so hilarious to find like two entirely different chains of thoughts like clashing,
I think he was
because
hardcore veg also, no?
he was hardcore veg. He was a Sattvic guy, and it was really
Yeah.
hilarious. Like sometimes you
Oh,
like
it was a
obviously
tough
like
one.
on a Tuesday, for example, we used to record on like Wednesdays or Tuesdays, and if somebody canceled like last minute like a celebrity, we don't have anybody, so we just like find the closest backup person we have and just like call them, and they're like, yeah, we'll come for 5 minutes of publicity. So that was like how we did like some of the most random people, and we had a great
Abbas
time
may have
because
walked out.
yeah, you would mind like gold out of their conversations also. It was so funny.
Yeah, but actually, honestly, sometimes the less you know, the better. It really works for a conversation. We just ask. It's just that the person must not take offense that you've not researched them thoroughly, and that their ego shouldn't get involved in it. But otherwise, if it's two strangers chat, there shouldn't be an ego thing. But yeah,
Yeah.
but that's why we try to keep the
You used to
celebrities.
throw me under the bus if the guest had a problem with an outdated CV. You were like, our award-winning researcher here, Abbas, has done all the research.
Well, you know what
Whatever.
Silverie did to me? What Silverie did to me, dog lover, 3 days ago. He gives me a biodata of these guys, lovely couple who've taken their two dogs and gone from Chennai to Delhi and seen like India from another perspective, staying in all kinds of shelters where the pets were allowed, etc., etc., etc. And it's called India off the Leash. What is it called?
Life
Right
of
off
the
the
leash.
leash. Life of the leash.
Yeah.
Huh.
Lovely couple.
Yeah, yeah.
And the first thing I do is show us your dogs, whatever, and and the two dogs that were mentioned, and one of them had passed away. Nobody knew. So that was such an awkward moment. Now suddenly in the middle, I'm seeing shows the dogs. One of them has recently died, and I was like, "Oh God, man, you really sold me on that one." Of course, not your fault because he didn't know either.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
That's
I
what they
thought
gave us.
that's something you would tell someone, no? Like, don't become
But
the other
Silvery,
dog. Don't
the
become.
show was about the two of them, the two dogs, and suddenly one of the things
Yeah,
was 25%
exactly.
gone. And what comeback can you have from there? I felt quite
Hey,
bad.
but do you remember any moments of like a guest being super offended? Like, what were the most memorable offense
My wife.
moments?
My wife gets quite
Yeah,
angry every time she comes on, and Amit tells her things like it's got the highest rating, and people really want to tune in and all that, and then she gets even more angry. And then I told her, because you're angry on the podcast as well, there's nothing I can do. I can't disguise it. It's a long one, so it all comes out. For 5 minutes,
Yeah.
everybody's nice, and then the truth comes out by the 15th minute. It's like that. So there was one film critic who was very aggressive. He just kept attacking me. I can't remember his name.
Is
I
it
remember.
was it Aniruddha Guha?
No, something
No.
else.
Anirudh.
Was it him?
Yes.
Is that the name?
It may have
Because the
been.
thing is, he's come on the show twice. Once alone and once with Janice Sequeira, who he's married to.
Okay. But
And,
wasn't there one time where he was just being very aggro, and we were trying to figure out why he was so angry?
Yeah, I was the producer
You were
the
producer,
second time.
huh?
It was something to do with the film Jalwa.
Second time, I don't think there was a problem. Yeah, but the first time he was just going on and on. I think he was knocking
I
the
was
film
the
career, knocking the
producer.
career.
Yeah.
Wasn't he? Wasn't that? That's the only thing that comes to mind. Oh, I can't think.
I think
Silverie,
he
anybody
didn't like
recently?
he didn't like the film Jalwa, and that's why he was mad at you for some reason. I don't know.
Look, little personal to me. I was thinking, I have to think my drinking days now. Have I touched his wife? Has she touched me? Because these guys, a lot of people have goodness, and you can't say years later that you're clean and all that. You still have to pay the bills. So
Cyrus,
normally I apologize. I'm at a
I have to
waithouse and I
mention-
didn't pay. I didn't pay for drinks at one thing. I'll tell you the bar name also. Indigo in Colaba.
Hmm.
The thing in the lane. So he told me once, sir, you didn't pay. I had to pay 675 rupees. And so then I did the Broacha touch. Kuch nahi hai. I'll get back to you. Keep in touch. God bless. Jai Hind, all that. Yeah. Who knows, man? Yeah.
Cyrus,
Oh,
I was
great
in
show.
a 90s trivia. Do you know what Clubhouse is, Cyrus? It's this new app where essentially you can
Well, I
talk
know
to
Mickey Mouse
multiple
Clubhouse
people.
I grew up on.
No, different house, different club. Anyway, so I was on a 90s trivia room, and they were mentioning the 90s Ramayan cartoon film, if you remember, the one in which Amrish
Yeah.
Puri played Ravan. I did not
The one
know
where I
you
voiced
played a
22
character.
voices.
I'm good.
I also played lots of
Yeah.
extra characters. People didn't turn up. Pearl Padam said, "Go do that voice." So I
You
know
were the
voices.
question. The
All
question
the
was
all the
Cyrus
monkeys.
Brocha voiced a character
all
in that film.
literally
Name
all
the
the monkeys.
character.
Sorry. There was a question.
Yeah. So what character did Cyrus Brocha voice in the film? That was the
So
question.
what was the answer for that?
It
Sorry,
was
I had
Angad.
no
Angad.
idea.
But
Angad. Yeah.
I was
but
studying was about to tell you this.
but I remember the voiceover. So Pearl was in charge of it or whatever, and that's why a lot of our theater people were involved in it. And I wanted to meet Amitabh Bachchan, being a big fan and all that. And
Mm.
he would come
No,
at
Amitabh
5.
Bachchan. Oh yeah, he was the voiceover guy.
Narrator. So he would come at
Correct,
5
correct.
in the morning because of this whole
Mm.
belief they had in those days that the voice gets deeper in the first 2 hours
In the
after
morning.
waking
Yeah.
up or
Yeah.
something. And they only do 2 hours, 2 hours of recording. And so 5 to 7. And every time I came, I missed him by 5-10 minutes. I just got really upset because he left 15 minutes earlier, he left 10 minutes earlier. It was very sad. Of course, I don't know what I would have said if I met him also, but I just Amitabh Bachchan. Yeah, but that was something.
These were
But
the ABCL days, no? That's why he was doing voiceover work.
no, this is well before that. This is when I was 17. So this is the 88, 89,
95.
90, somewhere there.
No, 94, 95,
This
I think.
95 by then? Okay, maybe 90.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
think 94, 95, a little earlier
I
than
mean,
that.
I remember the film, so I was a kid back then. 88, 89, I
We were
wasn't
doing this
around.
play called Godspell. That was about 89, 90 as far as I remember. Are
Okay.
we going to have this discussion about dates now for the next 15 minutes? Because that's riveting.
We-
People
you wanna
really tune in
listen
for that.
listen to the second anecdote that I remember.
Oh, sorry,
Um,
Baba.
Yes, please.
If you remember, there was a guest called Mr. Raj Grover who came to our on one of the
Yeah,
episodes.
elderly man with the filmy
Elderly
background and all
man,
this.
70
quite
plus.
nice.
So
Yeah,
obviously, again, like Naveen said, it was very interesting to see this very genteel 70-year-old sit in front of you, and
But
you
he
are
was
at
a
this
fun
rapid
interview.
speed.
I don't have any bad memory of
It was a
that.
fun interview. If you remember, after the interview was done, he had so many stories because he had been in the film industry for such a long time, and you are always on one guest is already waiting outside while the interview is going. So I always have that at the back of my head, and Mr. Rajguru was not leaving only. Like it was very awkward also to tell him because he's the 70 plus uncle. How do you tell him, sir, there is another recording? And he was telling you stories after stories. He wanted you to read his book right then and there. And so I didn't know what to do. So I very quietly just left, and I just left the two of you in the room alone. And then after about 15 minutes, you came back outside fuming. You came up to me and like, "You fucker, you left me alone with uncle. I had to listen to all those stories. I just heard 17 stories on the podcast. Now I have to listen to 17 more."
Hey, come on, he was a nice guy. I can't remember this.
Very nice,
But
very.
But
Great
wrapping
guy.
up is always God, really. Especially when I mean, now that you mentioned, he really wanted the stage. He really
Yeah.
wanted to talk because he's come from another time, and he's just trying to revisit that with all those anecdotes and the book that he had released. So he just wanted to. I feel a little bad actually. We're all going to be that one day,
Yeah.
You just need a place to talk and someone to listen. I'm
Yeah.
going to go and hang out at railway stations wearing no underwear. Naveen, you think I'll get lucky?
You might just Andheri station. Try that.
Which platform you suggest?
It's the McDonald's outside Andheri station west
Yeah.
side.
I asked for large. Stop it.
So,
Stop it,
go-
bitches. Stop it.
You ask for
You
a
can
venti,
do-
you get a venti.
I'll send you back to Philippines. They'll be very mean to you this time.
I never went to Philippines. Anyways, but I
Did
remember
you
this
tell me you were
one
going to
time,
Philippines to do a show and all that?
but it got cancelled because there were some deliberations with the money and all. And I was supposed to host Aditya Mittal, so I was not going to go as a solo artist. I was her
What
opening
is
act.
she doing in the Philippines?
I performing. We'll all
India had enough. India had enough. Is it?
India's
There's a list.
minorities shipped to other minority country. That's how it was. The plan was that, but then some finances didn't work out, so then we never went. So that's what happened. But I have one story which is really memorable because I remember I used to come from Bhayandar back then, and now I live in Khar where the studio is. But I used to
Wow.
travel
See
from
how your life
Bhayandar.
has changed. Huh.
Yeah, but to what point? Uh, I'm locked down here, right? So, but no. So I used to travel. I used to catch a 8:30 train to leave from Bhayandar to come till Khar 10:30, and then be early on time. This one time, there's like a blizzard in Bombay. There's like rains and everything is shut down. Remember that time when we both were the only people who reached
Yeah.
the studio? So
And
the
that
guest,
girl got angry,
yeah,
right?
the girl got angry. She reached at 10:30 and she was calling me, but I kept my phone in my bag because it was going to get wet.
Please get the background properly. It was a horrible day. I took 2 hours from
Yeah.
town. You took 1.5
Yeah.
hours from Bayandar. And she, for some reason, why was she on time? How did she manage? Because that whole
She had
place
a
was
driver.
flooded.
She had a
No,
driver.
Baba, the approach road, the entire linking road, and the other SV road, both were flooded.
Yeah. So she
So
came before like the flooding properly began, and she came and
she
even when I
spent the night there. Huh.
yeah, she came the garage downstairs. She was living there, And but then like by the time even I reached what was not that bad, but we came up, we got down in half an hour, entirety of like Bombay is underwater, right? So now there's only like three of us, Amit, you and me in the entire studio, and nobody else has turned up. It was quite something. I didn't
That's
even go
just
back home that day
the
because I was
story
like,
has no ending. This is like my
yeah.
wife's joke. Three men enter a bar and then, Praveen, jara kuch dena khane ke liye. This would end. And then we all, because we are scared of her, we go, very
No,
nice joke.
the moral of the story is that we like face all kinds of like obstacles to
Yeah,
come to the studio.
I
the
think
rains are
for
the
both of you
worst
all, not
because
so much for
you,
Silverie
yeah,
and Mali, sorry, but for Abbas and you, I used to harass you about being on time. Because I used to be so worried you
Yeah.
wouldn't be. So the last 15 minutes of my drive, I'd be calling Abbas for sure. Abbas,
yeah,
he would
yeah.
not even look. I think he purposely didn't look at the phone from say 9:52 to 10:03, because the moment it crossed 10, there'll be 8 calls between 10 and 10:01.
Do you know
Yeah.
about the reason there's a fingerprint scanner at IVM? We never had like timekeeping at
What?
IVM. Yeah, we
Really?
used to
Yeah.
come.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
Oh
I used to roll
wow.
up at like so time was generally 10 a.m. and I would roll up at 11. That was like a max thing. Abba would come at 1 p.m. randomly in the afternoon. Then Abba it was like, you know what, let's get a scanner, and that is one of the reasons why I left the company, because I didn't want to work in a corporate structure again. I hate
Essentially,
the
I'm the reason
scanning.
But
Malik left. Okay.
Yeah.
But I argue this with Amit. Here's a good question. Do you have this discipline because it is a sort of corporation and there's work happening and there's timelines? Or do you allow
But
people to have their own as long as they make the timeline? Like you're producing the show, so
but
you, as long as you give
that's
the
the
date on
thing.
time or
It's
whatever.
not like the fingerprint scanner made me come on time. I would still be late.
It didn't
Exactly.
stop you.
Exactly.
But
No, I
all you
would do
guys
that
are
at night. Like for example,
all you
Cyrus sometimes we did 3 episodes, right, on a given Tuesday. So that would be like from 11 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon. We're
oh,
in
we
the
would start
studio.
earlier, which would upset you
Yeah,
even
yeah,
further.
yeah. So
Yeah.
we're banging out multiple episodes. So on next day, if it's a Wednesday, I'm coming at 12 p.m. or 1 p.m. Like that's an understanding like between the company and me that I have
Which
given.
in the
Yeah,
West is actually the philosophy. When you do overtime, you get the
yeah,
next day off or corresponding hours off, by the way, which is a very
yeah.
mathematical and
Plus, like
logical thing.
I'm taking Abbas's case, but he would stay the latest after every night because he used the audible books, like with Peter Abraham. They would record like books with Kashmir ka fucking conflict from
Oh
90s. I
man,
remember I come for him
the
twice and I was
Vajpayee years.
watch by years. He sat for like almost 2 months with just that. So I'll like give him all the benefit of doubt.
And the Vajpayee years part two is when he's stammering a lot also. So that's a really long episode. I take that back.
Yeah,
I don't mean that.
yeah, yeah.
Mali, let's hear more from you. We've got these three ugly men, or four now. And he's drinking. Are you drinking Muraji? Is that Muraji that you're drinking?
Yeah, we conserved it for years and years.
Remember, it has to be your own Muraji. You can check with Sadhya,
The combination of
Pragya,
Narasimha and
Pragya
Murari.
Sadhya, Sadhvi Pragya, who's
Drinking,
Abbas's
yeah,
mentor.
exactly.
Huh?
Yeah, I know.
Abbas,
Yes.
full poster behind the bed. All of us keep. Huh?
Tried to
So
copy her hairstyle and I went bald. Sorry. Go ahead, Malik.
I
Be
was
careful.
recently looking at my photographs and I found like these photos of you, Cyrus, dressed as a cop. I'm not sure what it was for, but
Oh,
you were at
Papaka.
Stan
Huh.
Center and you were blowing a whistle all over the studio and you were like counting money. I don't know what it was for in
I've done a lot
hindsight,
of
but
Baka episodes as a cop, but
I
I
have a feeling
can't
this had
place.
something to do with ESGR, the show, which
Really?
Navin, you were a part of that, weren't you?
Yeah, because we had done the photo shoot for it to Alag Se. So
Right.
every guy got an episode. So mine was terrorism, so I dressed up as a Atangwadi. I remember the look from then
Right.
also. I probably have it in my phone. And Cyrus's topic was bribery. That's why he dressed up as a cop and with money.
Bribery, correct.
How do
Yes,
you
Wait,
that's
remember
the
what,
word.
this?
what,
Is
what
this
was
true?
ESGR?
Eat, sleep, joke, repeat.
Eat,
That
sleep,
was
joke,
Oh,
repeat.
okay. Right.
Let
yeah.
me try and find these pictures. They were here,
Yeah.
and I had them. And
I had like full Al Qaeda get up and everything. I was terrorizing a bunny or something.
I
But
remember that.
but you'll make a decent terrorist for me. You've got that angst. See, you got that poet's angst. Maybe you should do poetry. I always feel with you, I'm
Naveen,
little. I mean, I'm scared of you. I'll be honest, because I'm just too flippant and insensitive, and I'm going to say the wrong thing around you. I'm a little safer with Abbas because his meanness is hidden, and Silverie will
Because
never
he's straight.
disrespect. And
He's
Ali at the
straight.
moment is
That's why
treating me like
Cyrus
an
straight.
uncle. But you're the danger.
Straight.
You're definitely the danger.
Why? I'm
what?
so nice. Though. I literally take everything you say in my stride and I try to like
It's a good thing, brother. It's a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
thing. You have that
Thank you,
angst.
sir.
Your art is very sincere. There's always going to be that, as you said, gravitas. Or you can be
Thanks.
me. I've become so insensitive. It's glamorized now. When somebody dies, you look and say, "Ah, that's terrible." Yeah, Acha, what should we have? You're in a different world altogether. You're just desensitized. Like I
Yeah,
can't
that's
stand people who react to COVID. I don't know what to say to them. Oh, two guys have got it in the building. I'm like, oh shit, only two. I mean, I just can't react well. Everyone, uncle told me, sir, please wear your mask. So I said, I'm wearing my mask, but on my hand. And he got really angry. We started stammering and all that. Not just in
Should
banter.
show
I
him
don't.
this and tell him he's barely wearing his shirt. Thinking of him wearing a
There you
mask
go.
is a very
Okay, Mali so sweetly put up a picture which we can't see. Oh, really?
Hawaldar.
Oh wow.
Oh, this is a traffic cop.
Traffic
Yeah,
cop, yeah.
where the
Yeah,
shades are too
so
cool
here's
for
a
traffic cop, I tell you. Yeah.
This is the
I like the
balcony
fire
of Stan
extinguisher in the
Sandwich.
background. There's no
Yeah, there's so
pants, is
much
it?
going on.
Yeah. This is very strange bribery. Involves and a little bit down there as well. Thank you. पैसा से कुछ नहीं होता.
Yeah.
Come here, beta. Come
Right.
here.
That's an indoor working traffic policeman. He's
Yeah.
stopping cars
Ouch.
indoors.
Hmm.
Let's
God.
should we get to the Amy's?
But
Don't
I
we
also
have a break?
remember
No break?
what.
Yeah, let's take a break and let's get to the Amy's.
Can we take a
What
break
is
for
the
we have
extra
a
time?
producing?
Your job is
Very
start,
bad producing.
break, end. 3 cheese. End any
Hey,
I'll do.
yeah.
Don't worry about end.
Let's take a break. Yeah.
Bolo, sweetie, bolo. Yeah. So we'll take a break? Then I
Yeah,
have to
take a
find the phone. Oh, there you go.
Sorry. Yeah.
Uh,
There's an ad.
700 shows. Who can be more slick and professional than us? What are you guys saying? Don't you dare criticize. Okay, now I'm not doing this. Can we send it to Navin to do? Navin will love to do this cred ad. Navin, will you
Okay,
do
sure.
this?
Navin, will you do a credit
all
for us?
Because cred
of
cred
all
wants
things,
some. Yeah.
of all the brands, cred.
Yeah.
For me.
No,
yeah.
I think Mali, Naveen, and Abbas should all do the ad, and then we'll decide who did it best. That's
Oh wow. Okay.
I have
I've got
to
cred
rejoin.
online.
Do we?
I have to like rejoin on my phone because my laptop's gonna die and I can't find my charger. So I'm gonna
Oh, okay.
just get back.
Sure, no
Yeah.
Typical
Yeah.
female excuse when
Um,
3 creepy men are trying to entertain you for more time than you should. One without clothes, one without hair, and one without
It's too
agenda.
much to handle. Yeah.
Yeah.
One without a
Do
shirt
we
also.
have to?
That's
Do we
me.
have to do the cred ad in Jim Sarb's accent?
Yeah.
You can. Let's do it.
What kind of
Let's all
accent?
do it.
What is a Jim Saab
So-
anyway? Is he Parsi? Someone said he's Parsi. But I
What
don't-
is
I
a
don't-
Jim Saab is a very
So
good
like
question.
Genesis. It's a bit like what's that actor, The Rock? What exactly is Rock's Genesis background? I don't want to use the word
Samoan.
racist.
He's
He's he's mixed.
Islander.
He's Samoan and mixed.
Yeah, he's
Something
black
like
and Samoan. Yeah.
grandfather was black
Fuck,
or
I thought you
something
guys
like
were
that.
talking about Jim Sarb.
No, so Jim Saab is
Samoan
also
Jim
that.
Saab.
Jim Saab is a creation
Samoan.
of 17 different bloodlines. Maybe.
He's
Hence,
the generic South Bombay dude. You want to
that he may be. But
Yeah.
what is his? Okay, his ethnicity will come to later on another program. For now, Abbas, please read
Yes.
the cred ad that
What's
has been
the-
sent to you.
What's the copy? Has it been sent to me, Antariksh?
I'll
we didn't
just
send
send it to you. What's up?
Yes.
WhatsApp for the last time,
Getting
guys.
there.
You
Because
can
after
read, you
today,
can read anyone you
the
want.
government will be reading the
Anyone.
cred
Anyone
ad
you want.
before you.
The three options.
Ready?
Yeah, go.
Yeah.
Okay. This is me, Jim Sarb accent. Cred is the best club I've ever been a part of. A highly exclusive club, it says. Okay. It says highly exclusive club. Okay. I'm reading it
And
verbatim.
that's what you have to say.
Okay.
A highly exclusive club of trustworthy individuals who get rewarded for just paying their credit card bills on time. Where has cred been all my life? Should have come sooner. I wouldn't have had to marry my wife. It's too late for me now. But you don't miss out. Just download cred.
Horrible, absolutely, but still two on 10, two
But
and a
good
half on 10.
attempt.
Good
Yeah,
attempt.
good attempt
The
at
Sarb
Jim
part was
Sarb's,
good.
Jim Sarb's
But what
voice.
you
Yeah,
did to the
exactly.
ad was a disgrace. but the Sarb mimicry was good. I think you got the pitch also. So, Naveen, waiting for you.
There's 3 versions of this ad, and the second one appeals to me because I'm going to see only one line of it. I'm not someone who believes in credit.
This is the
Man,
artist. Abbas
This
learn.
is the
He's rejected the script.
He's
I know.
he's
He's
famous. Naveen
He's
is a
not a
famous
Salman.
comic,
He's
okay?
not a Salman. Look at the dialogue. He says, ye nahi, ye nahi, ye nahi, ye nahi, ye nahi. Bas, ho gaya.
I think the credit guys have a sense of humor. If they can hire Tanmay, then they can have a sense of humor.
Come on, give them credit. I'm not saying that because we want their money, which we do. But I think
He
the
just said
actual
he
point.
doesn't believe in credit.
Yeah,
Well, I do. I believe in
I
debit
only
also.
believe in
man.
debit. That's what's happening. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll just do it because Antariksh's job depends on this. I'm not someone who believes in credit, but these days I find myself using my credit card more and more. I don't even have one, but because
But then, you idiot, you've killed the ad. The whole
Oh
idea is to
shit.
sell credit cards, and now you're saying you
Oh
don't have
shit.
one. You're like a leftist trying to do a capitalist commercial.
Oh
Never
shit.
do
Yeah.
that. That's the
But that's a
worst.
problem. I'm
The
not a
longest.
spokesperson for this brand. Okay. Because if I pay my credit card bills on credit, I get amazing rewards and cashbacks. And honestly, this is the kind of validation I was waiting for my entire life. Just download credit. Do it now.
You've touched us. You've touched a chord in all of us. Silverie's crying with emotion there. I can see him hysterical.
Yes,
Wow.
absolutely.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. So now
Remember
you really don't have a
the
credit card?
I don't.
I mean,
My partner has, but I'm not someone who
no,
likes
no,
to be
no.
indebted to
Don't
anybody.
don't involve partners and families. You don't have a credit card.
No, I don't.
How
I
do you
don't like the
purchase?
idea.
How do you
I
purchase
have
things
money.
like clothes?
I have actual money that I can spend. I don't
No,
So you
take
like
do anything?
debit
imaginary
cards
things
they'll
to
have.
spend.
Only cash? Or you have debit
I mean,
cards?
There are
I have
payment apps and all that shit, Cyrus. 2021.
the world has
All
moved
right.
on beyond
I forgot about
1990
all that.
scams
That's
of
right.
late.
You guys can pay from your phone and all, not like me. Yeah. You
Yeah.
don't have to stand in line and wait for the shop to open at 7 and shut at 11 and all that. No. Oh, you guys are great. You can shop
We have
anytime.
Dunzo. Dunzo is the thing that we have now, where you just sit at home and people come to your doorstep and deliver stuff to you.
We
So
just try to promote cred. And then you go and find a satellite concern which is probably discrediting cred. No,
I'm
I
just
will not
saying,
allow this on the show. Eject him. Eject him now.
you can pay on Dunzo through
Mali's come
credit.
back.
I think.
Mali's come
Hi,
back.
Mali.
Hello.
Hello.
Mali, do you want to read a cred ad?
No.
Sure,
Oh,
send
enough,
it.
enough.
It's fine. It's enough. It's enough.
It's enough. It's enough. I'm worried the cred will, that after these two have destroyed or distorted the process. And they are very cool brands. So now the very cool brand is becoming a little angry. Oof. All right. So what
You gotten
AMAs?
calls?
Yep. Let's get to the EMS.
No, we don't get any calls. 700 episodes. Nobody cares. Even
You
the Home
should do a
Ministry hasn't
call-in
called.
episode, yeah?
I
Antariksh?
want to put Munawar Farooqi on our show only as a poster so that somebody, shows interest. Yeah. By the way, how is he doing? Anybody knows?
He's good. He's fine.
Killing it.
I saw him live in
Philippines?
Pune.
Philippines.
No, he's here only. I saw him live in Pune. He's definitely talking about experience stage, which is nice. Which is like
Yeah,
he's gone to
I
something that
think
most of us have not.
he can cash in on this, man. I mean, the good thing about all that is he became a superstar overnight. Everybody knows his name. Even people who would never sit through a comedy show, any part of India, they all sort of know who he is. So you should really cash in. Munawar, if you're listening, go for it. Do a
Let's
show every day.
He probably has
But-
a
but-
lot of content.
Yeah, I mean, just 5 days in a Madhya Pradesh cell would have been enough, and he spent 3 months.
That's what I was just gonna.
Yeah.
This kind of overnight fame, I hope doesn't come too many comedians.
No, and also you think of all the things that really could upset a person. I'm presuming that his food habits are like mine. So the first thing is they won't give you non-veg. I mean, I think it can really make that experience terrible. You're sitting there and thinking, is this really worth it? I would lose so much weight being in a vegetarian jail. And not out of, they'll think you're taking a stand. He would not eat. No stand. Poor guy.
That's
You
what my
think
main
you
should-
concern is. Like how will I survive? Like I'm such a pampered little bitch now at living at home, and then I have my own little cozy world. Like that, my only concern is like, see, one thing, pros and cons. I had to merit it, right? Because I'm a minority comic. In
You
this country.
must. You must.
Like pros are no rent. Con is like I don't probably get beef and pork and chicken. Like I used to like with my mom. So like that's a con. But pro is you get other boys. Cons are they're not your type sometimes.
But you can't choose them. They
Yeah, you
choose
can't
you,
choose them.
Navin. I
Exactly,
want
exactly.
to tell you, you're not a very strong-looking man. You have to be a little careful.
Yeah,
This is why you
that's why
you
I
should-
like find the biggest butch and make them their bitch. I don't know who the toughest one is until I go there. So that's
This all
my
works
main
in American prisons. I don't know somewhere in Indore or Bhopal if it's exactly the same experience, bro. It might just be romance with the superintendent or something. I mean, it's totally different for you. You have to carry a rose and listen to him sing or something. It's more painful than you think. It's not just about sex. It's always the before and after, my brother.
You know what's more painful, Cyrus?
The show?
No, even sex. I was building up to the butt joke, but anyways.
Okay. You can't you can't take us to another level. We've reached the highest the show can ever
Yeah.
reach. There's only way is down from here.
Romance with the Superintendent is a great romance novel name, though. Title.
Yeah.
I think the bureaucrat is always the guy who in India who's going to really be the king, right? So I would not worry about the prisoners as much as I would worry about the officialdom in India. And I think he's got to, because they'll be like jokes now, and they don't like it.
Yeah.
And they're drinking and they're watching you. So you're doing a Nach Basanti for them. You're dancing and the glasses are going into your heel. You're bleeding. You're crying. You want your mom. You want to hug someone. It's terrible. They destroy your confidence.
If any of us goes to jail, this clip is gonna age so badly.
Yeah. But a comedy club in jail sounds amazing though. That's like sure the audience because nobody can run away. So nobody has to pay ticket money, but nobody has to go away either. They're trapped in
You
there.
should, from the prisoner's point of view, you should do well because they're starved of entertainment. So I suppose
Yeah,
even my
for sure.
wife doing that normal half joke should work really well. Like three men went into a bar and that's it.
Yeah,
And yeah,
yeah.
oh, fantastic. Kya soch hai bhai. She's great.
Yeah, somebody's dying in the corner, you make them a ventriloquist dummy also. Everything really
I
works
think
out.
I'll tell
Wow.
Kunal to start there. Kunal doesn't like doing stand up or talking to an audience. So let him start in a prison. It's a great idea. Note to self.
Man, I watched a video of Naziruddin Shah last night, and Naziruddin Shah quoted Kunal Kamra. Isn't that crazy?
Wow. What did
Yeah,
he say?
That's a great
Help,
moment.
help.
He said no, no.
शियाचन में हमारे
He said और जैसे कि कुणाल कामरा कह चुके हैं जो बातें पहले क्या वर्ड
Allowed.
ना जो बातें पहले 5 पैक मारने के बाद होती थी आजकल नाश्ते पे चाय के साथ होती हैं something like that.
Oh.
Something like that. That's
But
like
it's the most
a Kamra
unbelievable
quote.
thing
You can
in
see
the
the
world.
highly competitive 5 comedians not interested in giving Kunal Kamra any bhav. Yeah, okay, great. And Nasir is a fine actor. Guys, Nasir is a fine actor.
Yeah, Naziruddin Shah, one of the finest actors, is
Yeah, but
quoting
you don't
Kunal
want to-
Kamra. That's a great
Listen, I've
movie.
worked with Nasir. You do not want to get into an argument with Nasir, okay? Because he's
Yeah.
he's Navin on speed, literally. Yeah, you don't want that.
That's literally
Poor
what
guy. To give him credit, he's stuck in the middle of a Bollywood or whatever entertainment world where nobody has any, cojones left anymore. So there's like 3-4 voices in the wind, and the rest of them have all buckled under pressure. So I
Yeah.
suppose.
True.
like he's done such great roles. But you remember that Tirchi Topi Wale song?
Oh God, yeah, that
that's the only
one
like,
really horrible film. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
exactly. But he's done such great work. A Wednesday, that's my favorite movie.
But the League of whatever Gentlemen was really as bad as any Hindi film. Huh? I mean, it was
Yeah,
really.
You know
I
what?
didn't like that.
I saw it at a very young age and I loved that movie. I saw it at a very young
Really?
age.
Well,
Yeah,
forget
I
that
was very
Nasir,
small. I
Indian
was
touch
like
and all. It
very
was just
small.
a horrible, bad film.
It used to be on AXN
How
all the
I
time.
really
small?
liked it.
You were 3.
I kind of liked it.
I think after 4
I was
you got
I was like 10, 12. I think I was
Yeah, even I used to
Three,
like,
normal person 3. Okay, fair
yeah,
enough.
I used to like the Van Helsing
Fair.
movies with Hugh Jackman. Remember
Yeah.
that Hugh Jackman?
Yeah,
Yeah, but
it's-
that's okay because that's a
okay.
genre. It's like cowboy film. You got to get in the mindset
Yeah.
and go and watch it. Or
Yeah.
if Mali doesn't mind erotic films, which I am now a student of. Every day I look at another group of filmmakers, like in Tube Galore, for example. They look at different perspectives. I mean, there's so much out there. There's so much talent, so much art, experimental, a certain willingness to learn.
Wait. I have a very interesting question. Cyrus said I've never thought of this. So you know how to use a VPN to get to all these websites?
I somehow manage. I'm not sure about this
Wow,
VPN. It's like in
I'm
maths,
actually very
you know,
impressed.
I
How
was
are you doing
very.
this?
I used to do decently in arithmetic and normal maths and all that, but I don't know how to. I can't do formulas.
All of
but I,
it's
but I
not
can
like
score.
100% of porn is inaccessible. I mean, it's impossible, right?
Oh, okay.
So something somewhere will. By the way,
Nothing is
League of-
impossible if you
Like
care.
anything.
If you care, if you have passion,
Sorry.
you can achieve
That's-
anything. Sachin
League
Tendulkar said
of-
it. Nothing is impossible. Nothing.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I think Nasir is on record to say that he only did that film to work with Sean Connery. That was the only reason. There's no other reason.
Yeah,
For
that's
it.
what the
Got
movie
paid.
also
Reason
has,
enough.
like,
Abbas, he got paid
that
10
is-
crores or something for that. It was a very big, amount of money also.
Yeah.
Let's not.
Of course, yeah.
If you have to go sit on a submarine or a ship for 6 weeks of shooting and they pay you 10 crores, you just do it quietly. And that to Sean Connery, blah, 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 blah. I wouldn't do it for 10. I'd do it for 20 though. Yeah.
Really?
'Cause he-
Okay.
Apparently, it was quite
Cyrus, how
nasty
much,
to
how
work
much did you make on the Amazon show that you did?
Nothing, Baba. Hardly anything. The conveyance they gave one way. They want you to come, but they don't care where you go after that. So it's one way conveyance. But at least I had some work during lockdown. No? We shot that in
Yeah.
October. And we shot that film, Penthouse, after that. So for 3 months, work was like a lot. And then Uddhav Thackeray, the one you elected, he decided to lock us down again. And I'm back in the house talking to
It's
4 retired
working.
comedians.
Less than 2,000 cases. Don't say anything against Uddhav uncle. I like Uddhav uncle.
Really? Yeah, it's Parsis and Muslims voting for Shiv Sena. How the world has changed. I've been
Yeah.
saying this, 20 years ago,
Yeah.
my father would be ranting and raving and abusing. No Parsi worth his salt. And now the 2 minorities or whatever minorities are left in Maharashtra all saying Shiv Sena better than others. It just leaves the perspective open for everybody. Oof.
the end of
Ouch.
time is for real.
Yeah. But what I really feel bad about is how BJP hijacked the orange is gone. You see, the orange is taken by them. The whole
I know,
orange movement. So now they've got to modify and be more secular in that sense and all. But just our perspective, 20 years and it's so different. 20 years ago, it was scary outfit, digging up pitches and misbehaving. Valentine's Day, maro sabko, and then take one card for later. Oh. Silverie, you don't know what it's like. We grew up. We are the revolutionaries. We are the Krantiveers. That's why I become Ben Shapiro now and right wing in my views. Yeah. You can't beat him, join him. Okay, aren't we doing AMAs? By the way, what the hell? We're just fooling around here.
Yeah, that's what.
That's not normal.
Yeah.
4 producers and no one is taking a stand.
I can't see the question.
For producers,
take it away.
The producer has to have some interest in what they're doing. With this particular muse, nobody really cares. Abbas will be on the phone. Navin will be scratching himself. Silverie switches off. And Mali, you left in 20 episodes, so you can just do the match on that.
And she changed devices mid.
There's a question for you, Cyrus.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you please name the
She had a
top
5-minute
5?
break. And I had a quick stiff drink. Oh God, to get through the last bit. Okay.
All right.
Cyrus,
Mali,
what are the top 5
okay,
Take a
party
shot.
actions?
What? Who?
I didn't listen to the question.
What is the question?
We have a lot of cool comments. Hola says Maalvika rocks. For
Mali, your full name is
700th
Maalvika?
show landmark.
I wouldn't get Mali from Maalvika.
Yeah.
Malvi.
Yeah.
It sounds
it's
like
like
Malvi.
Vizag from Vishakhapatnam,
That's true. I stand corrected. You have schooled me. I accept the beating. Mali it is. Mali after the reggae star.
Thank you to whoever said that. And they spelled my name right.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Oh, is that
So,
She also-
what is your name?
Oh, is it?
What if your real name is like
Maalvika
John?
Manoj.
What? Maalvika Manoj. That's right.
You
Okay.
never know.
Yeah, you never know. Bol Silverie.
She also says for the 700th show landmark, perhaps Mali and CV should do a duet.
Cyrus.
So how about can you
Oh,
get like
a song?
Like a song, yeah.
a song? Yeah.
Okay. Mali, you sing.
Cyrus,
no.
you have to do in
You're joining.
China we do it with chili. Remember that?
In China, we do it with chili. The chili was hot and God knows for what. In India, we do it with mirchi. There was a man
That's the
from
one.
Vienna who used to play the piano. One day, while playing his hands to the zip, out came a hairy banana. Hi, 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 hi. In China, we do it with chili. Mari likes that.
Nice.
These are all drinking songs. Did you drink with us? How did she know the songs?
No, but
Are you
sang
a
it on
BG
one of
girl?
the AMAs.
Oh, okay. Thank God. I thought another bad story for me now. Her mother will come after me. I don't know. I don't know anything. That's why I stopped drinking finally, because I just would black out. Oh, chasing girls and fighting with guys. It was like the worst story the next day. God, Navin, please give up alcohol, bro. I'm feeling very scared for you.
I'm not even a drinker.
But you look so angry.
Navin indulges in other vices.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Silverie, would you take this up then? And what would you think would be the vices? His mom listens to the show, Abbas. This is the best part. You get him, you corner him, you take him down. You take down the animal now.
Yeah.
All right, okay. Moving on.
Moving to the next question. Yes. Ola has another interesting question. She says, Cyrus's reaction to the arrest after YouTube dog flying video. Did you see this? So some guy in Delhi got arrested. I don't know if you guys saw this. He got arrested for tying his little pet dog up with helium balloons and letting the dog get a little air.
So
And he was
YouTube,
arrested for animal cruelty. Yeah, it's on.
The balloon is tied to him like a parachute.
Yeah, tied to him like a parachute. Exactly.
Does the dog get hurt?
But not coming down. Going. He just like it went off the ground.
But didn't get hurt, no?
Wait, how did they get him down?
But
No, they've tied the string to.
yeah, I guess they've tied the string. But this is the video that I saw.
Where does the video end, basically? If
That's
with
the end.
dog
That's
in the
all.
air.
Yeah,
Then he was
that's
rightfully
most of
arrested for it.
What was one of those videos where like they tie a note to the dog and say,
I mean, this
found it or this.
This is exactly Sushil Kumar, India's greatest athlete, who while beating the crap out of that guy has his henchmen film it so they can make the video and put it on Insta so the other guys follow and don't mess with him so his mafiagiri with rent and whatever can go on and live forever. I mean, this is brilliant thinking. one, the cruelty of the act or whatever. The second is putting it up, which is like, I mean, really. Isn't there one guy we discussed who actually spoke about killing somebody and said he had done it on some social network site? We'd done this on the podcast also. I mean, he actually thought that it wouldn't come back to him, saying that I shot so and so, it was me who did it and all that. Yeah.
What? Did someone confess to a murder on the podcast?
Yes.
Wow.
India.
I've been missing on Cyrus
So we get these smaller stories, and there's some dispute, and then the guy was gloating about everything on his, maybe it was Insta, maybe it was something else, but he was gloating on it. Facebook. It was on Facebook. I do remember.
It didn't happen on Cyrus Says Abbas. Not like confessed outside. He assumed that it happened.
after you two amateurs, after you
I was
three
like,
amateurs
wow.
left.
In my time, you used to cut out that kind of shit. Antariksh is just letting anything
Yeah, I know.
flow.
Like, they just
He
cut
works
this
very
part.
hard. He stays up taking some substances like coffee. He stays up all night and he makes sure he gives us lots of options in terms of stories. And I love small stories. But they're small in the sense that it doesn't get featured a lot because obviously somebody died, so that's probably the wrong word.
Right.
But like, did you see the story in Holland about the guy who robbed the home and then he fell asleep in the bed naked because he just liked the bed and he lay down for 2 minutes and then he gets caught? I mean, these are beautiful. I mean, how can you beat those stories? It's just fabulous. He's a career criminal. He's done the robbery. There's nobody there. All he has to do is exit and he's go home and free. He sees the bed and says, "Oh yeah, 2 minutes ke mein so jayega."
There were stories from Mumbai also. Similar stories from Mumbai where the guy broke in,
hid under
drank
the
all the
bed, right?
alcohol and then fell asleep on the couch. No, fell asleep on the couch and something like that.
Yeah.
He got
See how
woken up in the
somebody
morning by the
works.
cops on the couch.
I love these compilation videos of like people trying to rob a jewelry store and they hit the bar and it hits them back in the face. That's like super. What prep
like-
video?
Or like while taking
There's
out the
there's this
gun,
guy-
he drops the gun and then the guy gets it behind the counter.
No. There's
The
this
gun is
Korean American
Yeah.
guy who owns a shop, and there's a lovely shot of the guy coming with a knife and asking him to, give the money. So he pulls out this huge
Yeah.
gun from underneath, huge rifle.
Yeah.
That guy drops
It's
the
like,
knife.
okay.
The planning that
Epic.
goes into career
But
criminality.
that's such a I think in that way India is like very sorted because we don't have like truck stops or like gas stations getting robbed. That's a very common thing over there. So now they have all these, like, even when I went to Australia, they were like at every 7-Eleven they put like an entire chain mail around the counter because it's very common to like reach in and like grab money and run away, And that's like, it's not even like gunpoint robbery. These are like normal robberies. So it's like a very common practice apparently.
But we all should rob something once at least to understand the other side of it. I always feel you enter a shop one day, you should be allowed to take something. I mean, if not robbing cash, at least, shoplifting a little bit. Have you ever, Mali, you look like you've shoplifted here and there. Have you taken anything? She's aghast.
So I've had only like one experience when I was like a kid.
See?
Where where I went into a store and I really needed a rubber band to tie my hair. And it was one of those like fancy stores, but there was no one at the store. Like no one was there. And they had these little trays with like all the rubber bands. And I was just like, but it's just there. Like I can just take it. And I took like one rubber band, but I like killed myself about it for like an entire.
You are
year.
confessing like the guy who killed the guy.
band.
You're confessing on.
This is like that.
On a,
This is like that.
you are. Nothing
Yeah.
can come back for you. You stole a rubber band. It's still
Everybody
wrong.
was missing a rubber band at the store, maybe like in
Which is the store?
the late 90s.
Which is the store? In the late
It was some
90s, in a
tiny
store in Chennai or Mumbai.
In Kerala or something, I think. I think it
What
was
the hell? You
Kerala.
keep hopping around. Stay in one place, man. Who's going to follow this? So you were in Chennai, then suddenly you drop things only. Your criminal career is only in Kerala. Until you come back. It's a
Yeah,
geographical
that's
thing.
it.
Yeah.
Only one state
Okay.
can file charges at this point.
I don't know. Rubber band.
That's a leftist state now. It's like socialism. Everybody should get equal number of rubber bands.
Yeah.
What
I
if
think
it
you
held him?
They probably
Abbas, what if
understand.
it held
They
the
probably get
Chacha
it.
who owned the place? What if it held his leg together? He had like a broken leg or wooden leg or something, and that rubber band, because he was sitting, he took it off. Then she takes off the rubber band. Now he can never walk again because of her. I mean, there could be repercussions. We got to think it through. We can't just say, okay, it's just a rubber band. It's never just a rubber band.
Many a times these chachas know that
The
the kids are
butterfly
stealing,
effect
but they
can
just
only
let
be-
it go.
You think? Like, a
Yeah,
rubber band is
because
something I
they're-
never thought of. Of all the things you enter a store and I'll take the rubber band. I mean, she's like a socialist criminal. I don't want to hurt them too much. I will rob,
Yeah.
but I want to make sure they're happy and they can eat well. She's such a nice milk of human kindness, even in a crime. We're thinking I want to urinate on that thing because I hate the price. Your thinking is so skewed.
Honestly, it was because there was
Anyway.
no one at the store. Like I was waiting for someone to come to the store and nobody showed up. So I was
What's
like,
happened to
"Oh,
Kerala?
Like, I
So
guess
just leave the
it's
store
the
open.
finance keepers.
Kleptomania
leave the
out
store,
of
yeah.
out of boredom. She was waiting someone will come, she'll build
No,
the
the
thing.
owner had
Nobody
gone to
came.
Dubai. The owner had gone to Dubai.
Hey,
I
time
love
is
the
much.
Okay, bro. 18,
They must have gone
6:57,
through chai break.
58.
Who knows?
Yeah, quick. Okay, one more.
Shag break? What did you say? How dare you talk like that to old people? Sorry, maybe she didn't say
What?
that then.
Okay.
But I can tell from Abbas's reaction that I said the wrong thing. I can't hear anymore, bro. I'm only 50 this year. 50, 50. 50, and I deadlift 352 pounds with a bag folder. And I can't bench at the moment. I hope the pain goes. Pray.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of people are wishing us a happy 700 of Cyrus Says. Just congratulations, Cyrus. This is
Do they
very
really
great.
care? I mean, they should
Yeah, a
send
lot of
something,
people
huh?
care.
In our culture, there should be like some sort of gift, an envelope with a little bit of money, or rubber bands for Mali, whatever.
Yeah.
Just send us something.
Google Pay 700 rupees to Cyrus.
I don't need the money. I just see the
Also-
rubber bands.
I've got lots of rubber bands for you.
Also, a lot of people
Oh, wow,
are
you just have them right.
What are you
are
trying
saying.
Huh?
Also,
What are
a
you
lot
trying
of people
to
are saying they miss Abbas, and one person has said,
Silverie, you
Aditya
should
Prabhakar
never have
said,
taken the-
Abbas's
because
voice.
You should
Abbas's
say
voice
that.
is made for podcasts. How I wish he didn't
Thanks.
take a break from podcasts. That's a good compliment.
He's
for
not
Abbas,
taking a
man.
break.
Why
He's just moved to some other podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, people don't know that. Don't say that, Cyrus. No, I'm just joking.
Abbas would keep telling me, can you speak slower? I was thinking we have to find a medium between his super slow and my super fast. Because he'd be like, Abbas, what are you going to do? Abbas like, if we can try and get them to. It was an unequal music. Yeah. I think Navin has lost interest. He's doing some Carnatic vocals and classical dancing at the back.
No, I'm
So-
reading the comments as well on
God,
YouTube.
you're with our show or something else?
I'm watching
What would I
us
say?
watch each other. I'm watching you.
What an ego. Unbelievable.
Your naked self.
You don't want to pay for talent. This is what you get. Huh.
Okay,
All right.
one last quick thing
Yeah.
then.
Yeah,
Last one. Pradeep Pillai says this is an interesting topic suggestion. He says, Cyrus, what are your thoughts about this week where defamation case was filed by Salman against KRK?
Lovely.
for his
KRK.
review
Yeah,
on
what a
Radhe?
story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what a story.
Yeah, what a story.
Yeah, hilarious.
So this is the whole thing about internet,
Yeah.
right? For the right up till my era of being an adult or whatever, early adult, we had the
Wait,
film
who's
critics.
KKR?
KKR is
KRK.
Kamal
KRK, right?
Kamal R. Khan.
KRK,
KRK.
yeah.
Why Salman
Yeah.
Singh in Kolkata Knight
Kolkata
Riders?
Knight Riders.
KKR.
Yeah.
Kolkata Knight Riders.
KRK, it's not lack of respect. You're not a cricketer, so I got, I thought of the IPL team. I'm sorry, I apologize. But so the critics would say what they want, the actors couldn't talk back. But now you got to be really careful, especially if you have a following. He's going to react. So,
Yeah.
but
Wait, why has he sued KRK?
personal comments
Okay,
trying to be
he's
funny, tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
Radhe,
You can't
about-
act and all. He said,
Or usually, the
he's called
usual.
him-
I don't know why Salman's bothered after 65 years of doing this and the same people
Yeah.
saying the same thing. It's like water off a duck's back. It might be somebody else in his camp who said, let's make some money. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
I think Radhe didn't make enough money, so now he wants some.
No,
We don't
Salman
know.
is
They
the-
really
So that's what they're
released
doing. Now they're like,
Even on Twitter,
Because they're
it's
saying
about
that-
how people are like illegally downloading it on torrents and stuff, right? And that's like the culture. And then like he's put out on Twitter like, I don't know, even after saying that it's available for 250 rupees, still
That I saw.
downloading. And then like we are doing a legal case, cybercrime will come for you. And I'm like, dude, you're 50 plus, and you're just like, so stop acting like a 30-year-old YouTuber, stop bitching. It was so funny. Nobody was buying his movie. That was funny.
No, I
Like-
think it did okay.
Yeah. Unless
But
55 rupees at Gaiety, I'm not going for a Salman Khan movie, honestly. That's the most I can spend on him.
Did you say Gaiety?
Gaiety. G-A-I. Remember how to spell
Nobody
it?
see that pun was unwarranted. God, okay. But getting back to the whole thing,
Yeah.
if they allow a defamation case, then all of us will be in trouble because you're always making fun of all these big stars. There's
yeah, of course.
it's a terrible thing to start. And normally it's only Munawar Farooqi who's normally punished for all of us, and we should keep it that way. You have this one guy who takes the fall. Yeah, maybe Kunal Kamra, two guys. After that awful
But he's
comment he
being
made to Nasiruddin Shah.
He's in court. Yeah.
Yeah. But for that alone, 6 months at least. Vegetarian, by the way. Yeah. But having said that, KRK, really, why would you follow KRK or KKR, whatever his name is?
No,
Because it's
I
cringe
actually
watching,
watched
Cyrus.
his.
Yeah, it's
Cringe.
Yeah,
cheap.
but I watched that review only because he got sued. I wouldn't have even seen that review. You know what I mean? So
But he's got
they are doing their own
millions of
self a
followers.
disservice.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Now, yeah,
KRK
no, like
is very big.
I'm sure like overall, yes, combined on YouTube.
And now
it has,
you'll get even more because people like you went and checked it out. So it's got more and more.
Yeah, exactly.
The
And
funniest
it
thing would
wasn't
be
actually. It was actually quite a
yeah.
fun review actually. If you go
But he
into
made
What
some
if the
personal
code is
comments.
like,
But not
it's
Sorry?
as a fine you have to pay
Yeah.
2 rupees? That will be the funniest
Deep cut.
coming around in a circle.
all right.
But
This has been a
Cyrus,
wonderful
I
episode.
have one last thing to say.
Oh, God.
At the
Yeah.
day the day of this recording, the Friends reunion has happened. So I want to know when is the Hello Friends reunion happening, Cyrus?
Listen, guys.
Yep.
Hello,
We're
Mitro.
trying to,
Yeah.
hey guys, we're trying to get dates together. It ain't been easy. Everybody's super busy. You know, I mean, you call up whoever played Monica, and you call up whoever played whatever his name is,
Chandler,
David
Ross.
Schwimmer's character. Says I'm not
Yeah.
really a Friends guy, and we're trying to piece it together. Yeah, really. I completely forgot about the show until the unraveling of our.
That's
Yeah, the
another
instant cringe bot is back. Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
cringe watch favorite now. Like along with
So I've
KRK.
been, so I've been
If you
told.
watch KRK,
Yeah.
it shows up in the suggested videos. Like you
So here's what I think. I think you make something really good or really bad because both have their market. So
Absolutely.
in the middle, you
Yeah.
just get lost. So there's no point to
Yeah.
that.
By the
Yeah.
way, you played the Chandler character, Cyrus, and did you
I
know
did,
the
I did.
writers originally planned to make Chandler gay in Friends? Like for an entire 3 seasons, they wrote him dialogues that were gay, but they kept him straight. That was the whole
Hey,
deal
hello.
with
First
Chandler.
and foremost, I'm not an anti-gay guy. Grown up in the
No,
theater,
I'm
lots of gay friends.
I'm just saying.
So I
I'm
don't know
just
what you're
saying
insinuating. Not a problem. I have done a play. I've done a play where I played a gay character.
for queer coding, Cyrus. That's what they're
Yeah.
saying.
So
They saw something in you. Is what they're saying.
I'm telling you, I'm a male magnet. I've never had a problem. Men always, wherever I go in any culture, in foreign countries, they come and flock. They hang around. Flock,
Yeah.
FLOCK. And
Yeah.
yeah, so it's karma, man. But
And
girls,
they
I
told me about
work
them
so
Philippines.
hard, nothing. Yeah. If I just embrace that side of me, Naveen, you'd be so jealous because wherever I go, there'll be like 30 guys. And I get any class, I mean, it's unfair.
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
you
bad
and
for
me,
others.
nobody else. The
Yeah,
whole
I mean, the women will hate me. They'll be like,
of
please
difference.
leave some men for us. Yeah. Ali, it's
Yeah,
not
Cyrus,
a
leave
joke,
some
it's
men
true.
for us.
This legacy. No, I'm telling you, I get male friends
Teach
everywhere
me.
for anything. Yeah, I stand downstairs, 5 men come and chat with me. I mean, most of them I owe money and all, but still, they come and talk.
Yeah, it's an enigma.
It's a pain, brother. It's a pain.
Maybe they're there for your dog when you walk your dog.
Maybe, but at least if they had long hair. But I mean, they're all like men. Oh, just kidding, Naveen.
There are men with long hair. What are you talking about?
Don't say that in front of Abbas. He's so wrong. Okay, guys, it's been a lovely reunion. 700th episode with all the producers. I think we missed out one producer in the beginning, Chavi. But I don't know what
Yeah.
happened to her. She fought with Amit and disappeared. And I hope she's okay. But thank you so much. And let's not meet.
For
Now
to
40
the
minutes.
next 700.
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
700 more.
1400.
Silverie with his Punjabi father with 3
Yeah.
kids who he hates.
You're doing like
I mean, the world would have changed. Yeah.
Are you doing like 250 a
Ali would
year
be
now because you're
arrested.
daily?
Sorry?
You're doing one daily, so like 250 a year.
Yeah. Basically.
That's your
Yeah.
maths.
Imagine that.
Yeah, I
That's
think
right.
so.
It's only 5 days a week. Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad.
So, yeah, that makes sense.
Do 250 a week. Cyrus.
All right.
Then
Yeah, okay, all right. You don't have to smash the guy. You've already got him down. You won the fight. The fight is over. Don't keep kicking. It's done. Anyway, so 700. So see you soon, guys. Silverie, we must get them back on for normal episodes also, no?
Yep, absolutely. We'll get all of them back for
I'm
Coffee
just
Boost.
saying it, yeah. You just have to echo it. Yeah, that's right.
No, they know. Yeah, Abbas and Naveen we definitely have on like regularly. Mali, I'll start asking now. Of course, from now.
Right. Okay, Antariksh.
You can start.
Ali, this is like what's the quota system again that he's starting. Last minute,
I know,
give the
this-
sexist, the whatever, 20%
No,
Just do it.
women.
not at all. I don't mean like that. You know,
You're going to be like me. You're going to be a male magnet for the rest of your life, Silverie. All you'll get is men because Mali will spread the word. He doesn't know how to treat the girls.
Cyrus,
Make you
nobody
feel
says
special.
male magnet anymore. Male magnet. Who says that?
Boss, by the way, as you age, you're coming closer to me and further away from them.
I
So
know.
just be careful. Yeah. Okay, Uncle, can go and eat dinner now?
yes.
bye, Cyrus.
Bye, everyone.
All
Have a
right,
good one.
guys.
Bye.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Congratulations.
The best part.